and we're just gonna have a good old fashioned conversation.
All right.
Is that all right?
That's
All
all
right,
right.
I'm gonna make sure all the mics are on and everything. I hear myself coming out there. See if I hear you.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, 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 hey. All right, take our music down. There we go. So, I have so many things to talk to you about tonight. And for those of you who don't know who Shaun J Lori is, they are an award winning producer, artist, singer, fashionista, playing all over the world, trendsetter, go getter, doing it all.
Oh wow.
Did I capture most of it?
Yeah, it's
There's a
funny to
lot
hear it
more.
back. It's just funny to hear it back.
You've been doing a lot, and it's funny because I was doing my research and I realized one of my favorite songs is one that for some reason I didn't put it together, and then I was like, oh yeah, of course, I play that all the time. Uh, 808. Sorry, state. Lauren is trying to give me a message. It's like sign language. You should
Oh,
see
I
her.
come in. Yeah. Okay. Here we are.
Yeah, no, 808. When you did that Honey release.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
want to
that
talk
was using a sample from a movie, and we released.
State of Mind.
Yes, we released a song on Classic, being Derek Carter and Luke Solomon.
Yeah.
And she used a prominent sample of it, so it was really cool. We were honored that she would do that.
Well, it's an amazing song. It's so smooth, and it reminds me of a summer night in Chicago. And there's something. I mean, it
like
harkens.
cruising up Lakeshore Drive.
Yes, it gives you that feel. But I love that song. I play it all the time. But I want to start from your beginning. So this is the Vintage House Show, what we do, and you've been on with Lauren before, so thank you for coming back.
Oh, my pleasure.
And being live in the studio with us. I had the distinct honor of being sort of on the bill with you like about a month ago, 2 months ago at Smart Bar, where you are a resident DJ. So we're gonna talk about that. But the goal of this program really is to. We certainly like to recognize. We call it Vintage House, but it's really more like it's like fine wine. Like it never, like it's vintage as in it's always good. Like whether it was 40 years ago or it's 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Like there's something about it, about our community, our culture, that just keeps getting better and better. So I don't want you to think of it like it's only the icons and the legends, and you are a legend of your own in our space.
Hopefully, up and coming.
Up and coming, a legend is okay.
Yeah.
Just say, it's all good. But I just want to say that we want to celebrate people who are artists in all different kinds of ways, and really bringing love to the community, and exporting that Chicago feel all over the world, which you have done so well. So thank you for being an ambassador, and thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. I'm honored.
You're wonderful and beautiful. So you're from the area in Maywood.
Yeah, I grew up in Maywood.
What was that like?
Fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was growing up in the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
I was born in 82.
Okay.
So
it's a good year?
That was a good year, yeah. It feels like a lot was going on in the city at the time that I didn't get to witness directly, but got the benefit of, I guess, the downpour of that culture that was being...
It was in the air.
Yeah, it was in the air. And it was all around. And so in Maywood, you sit on the stoop and there would be people driving by with the loudspeakers.
Yeah.
Casual records pumping in the back, and the radio, listening to GCI and B96.
I love that.
A little bit of WBMX, like the last.
You caught
a little, like the last. Yeah, I caught a little bit.
That started like 81, but I think by 85, 86, it was kind of.
I was a little shorty, but
you remember it.
I remember house music. I don't remember it ever being something distant. It was always there.
Really?
It was always there. My aunt was a big house music head.
Really?
Yeah, so it was just always there. Like 3 and 4 years old, I remember.
Yeah. Well, you came in right as the house music culture was kind of being solidified. So we talk about house music as in there was culture and then there was canon, and those are East Moods words that I use all the time. But he's right to sort of pin it that way. That before we had a name for it, there was sort of culture that was being formed that then sort of produced records that represented the culture. So you were in smack dab in the middle of that culture before it became an official canon. Although there were a few tracks that were being created the year you were born. I think my first residency was 1982. That's kind of funny.
Oh, wow.
But so I read that your mom was listening to Steely Dan and Manhattan
Steely Dan,
Transfer.
yeah,
What do you remember from that time?
I remember her singing around the house, sounding beautiful.
Yeah.
She was a big Anita Baker fan, so she always sang
Or
her
songs.
songs. Yeah. She was in a band herself that was
Yeah.
performing regionally.
Yeah.
I remember like they had a big show at Park West that she was
Oh,
getting prepared
nice.
for.
Really?
Yeah. The band was called Total Eclipse. And I
Wait
just
a
remember
minute.
being a kid.
Really? I feel like I've heard of them.
Maybe, yeah.
They played around Chicago?
They did.
I used to follow like Chicago bands.
Oh, wow. I'll show you a picture when it's.
Okay. I'd love to see
Yeah, I know the
that.
band leader's name was Victor. I can't remember his last name, but I was like
Yeah.
3, 4 years old, going to rehearsals and like being in the basement
See?
with them and seeing it and watching it. And I thought my mom was the coolest person on the
She
planet.
sounds like she was.
She was pretty cool. She was kind of edgy and punky and wore a lot of sequins, a lot of makeup,
That was the era.
a lot of funky hairstyles, and
I love it.
yeah. So it was inspiring.
That's a common story when I talk to people in these chairs. I tell you, like 4 out of 5 talk about their parents. And sort of the influence that their parents or maybe like older siblings, but there was somebody musical in their family.
Yeah.
That was sort of inspiring them.
Yeah, and it was very organic in my house. My grandmother was a big fan of musicals, so I grew up watching Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
No way.
Singing in the Rain and anything with Doris Day, of course, Calamity Jane and all that stuff. Like I got that and Sid Charisse and Frank Fred Astaire and all those things were big in my house, and I liked opera and PBS and all the things that were coming on there. So there was like a cultural kind of stew happening.
I love that.
In Maywood,
Well, hey, Maywood is cultural like anything.
It is. It's a beautiful place to grow up. I just went back recently for a all-class reunion that they have every summer.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Proviso East.
Oh, Proviso East,
yeah.
That's in that direction.
Yeah, I graduated from Proviso East in 2000. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right smack dab at the millennium, and the world didn't burn down.
It didn't. Not yet.
we're keeping hope alive. I think I got some feedback. Here's my headphones. I wanted to ask you, still in that era, like that childhood era, there's so many things that are influences that stick with us over time. Do you remember like your first time you bought your own record?
I do. I mean, I had gotten Michael Jackson's like Bad and stuff like that, but the first time that I went out of my way to buy something was the new Chicago house sound, Casual, and this was maybe my 8th grade year, so I was about 14, and it was very special to me. It was the cassette.
Oh, really?
It was the cassette, and I got it from Reamer Records on 5th and Madison, and it was.
So that was like the mid-90s.
This was
early 90s.
94.
Yeah.
93 maybe.
Okay.
No, 95, maybe 95.
Yeah, mid-90s.
It was mid-90s, and I'd gotten other things before, but this was the one that was like special to me. And I remember riding my bike, my best friend with me, and I kind of snuck it in because my mom had gotten a bit religious at the time.
No.
She was like, "Oh, I mean, that's like she's my biggest supporting fan now."
But just no more sequence.
she had shifted, yeah. So like she knew what the music was and where it was coming from. And she wasn't a fan of that.
Really?
So it was something.
Talk about that. What happened?
I just had to sneak it into the house.
Okay.
And I listened to it on my headphones.
And this is just regular radio music.
This was this was Casual Records.
Oh, Casual Records.
The new Chicago house sound. Yeah.
So she didn't like it because it was.
It was queer. It was the Warehouse, and although when she was pregnant with me, she she used to go to the Baton.
Oh.
So it was like a contrast, and going from one extreme to the other, but the pendulum has swung back to like full support and love.
I appreciate that. I appreciate hearing that because that tends to happen. I think. I mean, it happens certainly with members in my own family. I'm sure many of your families too. That this idea that religion imposes a much more serious way of life.
Yeah.
That you got to be serious and you can't like common things and because it's worldly and all that. And I disagree with the premise and I love to hear stories about when people kind of come to their senses.
Yeah. It wasn't going to be long for her. I mean, it didn't take her long. She got with it and house music was my religion. Like it was what I was focused on so heavily.
So that's great.
Yeah.
And so it was queer. How did that go over in your family, just in general?
Initially, it was never about me being queer. The
Yeah.
gay thing, like
Yeah.
the attraction to men, because she really encouraged my queerness. She still
No.
yeah, she was like, dress like this, whatever you want to do. Well, like it was always cool. It was
Yeah.
safety concerns. She was more so concerned about how the world would receive me.
I understand.
But it was never an issue of like
you
can't express yourself. Yeah. The dating men stuff was a little bit more challenging.
Yeah.
But now she's like, I want you to find the love of your life and be married like your brothers and like and
so
their
sweet.
wives. So it's like we're full circle. We're like best friends. We are best friends.
I love that. And you have siblings?
I do. I have 4 younger siblings. My 2 brothers, their wives, and then I have another brother by my father. So 5 in total.
So you got a big family.
Mm-hmm. And I'm the eldest. So.
Are you the eldest? Are you the only queer person in your family?
I don't claim to be. I might be the only. I might be the only like homosexual. But I feel like my family is quite queer in its politic and also in the ways that they express themselves. Like my brothers are excellent young men who are not afraid of being expansive in their. They're not patriarchal in the traditional sense. Yeah.
So they have a wide expression.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I have a lot of gay, bi, queer people in my immediate family. I'm not the only one.
Fantastic.
But I was the only one that got kicked out. That's a story for another day.
Cheers to that.
That's a story for another
Whoa.
day. But my parents did the 180, and so my dad actually married me and my wife. And he's a minister.
Sick.
So that's a big deal.
That's a huge
another
deal.
show.
That's a huge deal, especially coming from that era.
Oh no, they told me I was dead to them, and to get out. I was like 18 years old, and I was like, yeah, okay, now I can like DJ and.
Did you hear them say that as that, or did you hear something else?
That's a really good question. When my father said you're dead to me, I was, I think I was just numb. You know, so long ago, it's hard to remember. I shouldn't say hard to remember. I remember the time, the space, the place. I remember the thump on the chest, like you want to be a man. I'm like, no, I'm just like this little kid, you know.
You were still a child.
I was a child, and but luckily, I had some amazing friends who were very mature. One of them who was like in looking for an apartment, like because we were all both 18, trying to sort of get out there. And he's like, look, I'm close to getting an apartment. Just move in with me. Stay with your sister for a little while. And so I did a little couch surfing for a bit. And I actually, suddenly this has become about me. Hey, Melody.
Sorry,
hey, Carl.
I steered that in that direction. I'm curious because you have such a rich history too, and like, it's important.
No, I appreciate you saying that.
This aspect of it is important. I think that some of that is lost within the mainstream, and it needs to be revisited. The why.
Yeah.
And I've learned from someone of your ilk.
Yeah.
your caliber.
Ditto.
You know.
It works both ways, but no, it was a formative period for me, and I did come out, I think, better because of it. Like I learned some things. I was in a very sheltered, privileged little South Side, household, and that was when I was 18. I'm like going to the warehouse every Saturday and hanging out, and so it pushed me out. I was a street kid, a club kid for a little while, but I was also learning how to DJ and storing my records here and there, and just sort of trying to make it. And it was a little scrappy period that I don't regret. I'm just like I think what happens. I'm a believer in what happens to you happens for you.
Yeah.
I really do believe that. Yeah. So it made me a stronger person, I think. And my mom and dad, bless their hearts, they're both gone. But they were our biggest fans. My brother, who's I think watching it, Carl, he came out, and my little sister came out. So after a while, it was kind of like, okay, what else?
Stop stealing my thunder.
What else is happening in this household? All right, let's get back to you.
Okay.
But I do like to unpack that aspect of house music, because often we don't talk about it a lot, and things, as you know, can be straight washed and whitewashed,
or segregated too.
Very segregated, like things are in Chicago. And I really want to get into that. And so I do feel like I, as a woman and as a bisexual woman or in a lesbian relationship, I'm often, and a black woman at that, sometimes it's a space that not a lot of people occupy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do, that's why I enjoy working with like Kristen Kaza.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've done a lot of parties in the queer community, as I have in all communities. But there's something about that community that is different and special and important to remember that it is
Absolutely.
an essential story in house music. So I will stop there. I'll stop preaching. Melody, what am I doing? Okay. So I have like several, many things to talk about.
Okay.
So let me, let me get to this. Um, I want to talk a little bit about, you mentioned the radio. So you were hearing your first bits of house music on the radio.
When I was really young, I was calling like GCI, the midnight mix, whatever that was on the weekend.
So you were hearing that? Were you by yourself? Or you
I was in my bedroom. I was like 11.
By yourself?
By myself in my bedroom, 11, 12, 13.
How did you discover that?
It was just always it was ubiquitous back then.
Right,
it was like,
that's true.
It was, house music was everywhere. It was in like, they'd have like the top 10 songs of the.
That's true.
It would always just be like Aaliyah and like a house record.
Yeah.
And Dajay, or like, it was always mixed in with, so I didn't know that it was something unique or special because that's how I grew up.
Right.
With You Dance B96, coming home and watching it, or seeing, videos from, because my family's from Ann Arbor, like my cousins had videos of like New Dance Show and stuff like that. So it was just always, I was just a sponge for it.
Yeah.
And I would be calling the radio station like, 12, 11.
What were you saying?
Hi, what was that last song that you played before this, and Shaun, go to bed. I was a kid. I was very curious, and I wanted to go to the clubs, and I wanted to. My aunt was partying, and she was at the clubs, and her friends were going to, Red Dog and all those things. I was like, I want to be at the shelter. I want to be. 15 was when I started to get, sneak out a little bit, but it was, I was really young, really excited about the prospect of what even house music could be for my life.
Yeah.
Seeing like the club kids on like Sally Jesse Raphael or Donahue or whoever was, broadcasting them. And I was like, those people look cool. I want to be what they are. Like that was.
Did you achieve that?
Totally. And more.
That's great. Hey, look who's Club 107.5. Guess who just tuned in? Steve Nickety Maestro.
Oh, wow.
What's up, Steve?
Thank you for your work.
Thank you for everything, Steve.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about the radio. Steve, this is a question that you could probably answer too. I'm wondering, when you listen to those mixes on the radio, this is driving me crazy. When you listen to the mixes on the radio, and then you were able to experience it in a club, like, can you talk about what that meant? How did it translate for you? Like, do you remember that feeling?
Oh. So my first foray into like feeling that feeling was street dance. Like I was in Mega Swag, which was a dance troupe that was an offshoot of Main Attraction from the West Side.
Okay.
So we were going to like parties and like battling each other and like UFIU or House-O-Matic. Like we would do that kind of stuff. That was my high school year. So before it was formerly known as Juking. I was a part of that.
I see that influence in your music.
Marching in like the Bud Billick Parade with like my high school and like that kind of stuff. So it was on the streets. It was the youth movement at the time. So listening to like a Waxmaster or a Jammin' Gerald, who's my favorite, like one of my favorites of all time. Like just his music that he produced and the way he mixed, which was always like a quick blend in those kind of mixes with the foil tapes. I don't even know if they have a special term. You get those from the record store for $10, you know, like the gold or the red tape. Yeah, they were just like, so hearing that and then being able to like party as a 15, 16-year-old, that was really impactful. But and then hearing the music in the clubs when I started to sneak into like the Generator or like East of the Ryan, later on the Pop House. Because then I was starting to learn about voguing. So it was all connected to dance always.
I see.
It felt right. It felt spiritual. It felt like home. And I just kind of never stopped. And all the time I was starting to buy records, but I was afraid to approach DJing. It was something that was very, can't touch that.
Really?
So yeah, like that's something very special and sacred.
Oh wow.
So it took me a long time to like even start. I was like 18, 19 before I started practicing.
Okay, so yeah, I thought I wanted to get there, but
Mm-hmm.
you were part of. Okay, so the dance piece really sort of ushered you into like the club scene.
The club scene, yeah.
And with Bud Billiken and the ballroom scene. So were you
ballroom?
Were you
officially became a little later. I started to learn like some of the techniques of Vogue and like when I was still in high school.
Okay.
And I would go to the Rocks and we'd hang out on Halsted. And,
Yeah.
you know, Belmont. We would do that kind of thing for. You know, just going out on Saturdays or Sunday. You know, everybody would be at the Rocks on a Sunday.
I remember it.
Yeah. So we were trying to find our way through that and like navigating that. Yeah.
Hey Kevin Abdullah, thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing okay, brother. And Rob, nice to see you too. We are here, just in case you just are tuning in with us. We're here with Shaun J, right? Shaun is a DJ, producer, singer, musician, dancer. They've done so many amazing things that I am just honored to be in the same space with you. Mm-hmm. Resident DJ right now for Smart Barber. Just flew in from New York last night, so it's mad props all around the world. And we're going to get into a little bit of their, fashion, dancing, what brought you back to Chicago and all that good stuff. So thanks for tuning in.
Wow. Okay. Every time you say it, I'm gonna blush.
Paris is burning. I used to hang out with Willie Ninja.
Ooh.
When I lived in New York.
That's so cool.
I was there for a couple of years, and I didn't even know who he was.
Wow.
Well, because it was right before Paris is Burning came out. I think he had already filmed it. Mm-hmm. And the woman who did his hair, I was dating her. And she was like, "Oh, we're gonna hang out with Willie," and I met his grandmother, and we hung out, and
like you met his grandma.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I was like, seeing because he was my girlfriend's best friend. Mm-hmm. I use that term loosely. We were dating for several months, but I would, you first start dating somebody, you see them every day. Mm-hmm. So I got to know him pretty well, and I did not know that was his thing until I moved back to Chicago.
A legend.
And then Paris is Burning came out, and I was like, that's Willie.
Had you ever seen him dance when you were in New York?
We went to clubs.
But you never saw him come up
I never saw him,
What a talent.
Oh my God.
Like, it's insane.
I mean, I saw, because all the other people in the video with him were the people we were hanging out with too. And I can't remember their name, but it was a couple. It was a straight couple. They're in the In Vogue video with him.
The Malcolm McLaren one? Or?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Anyway, that was all part of the little crew. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I didn't know they were doing all that. But
you were in it. You were in the mix.
I was in it, and I didn't know it.
I got to encounter him a couple of times before, like later in his life in New York. Yeah. He was always very kind.
Yeah, that was a big loss for the community because what a sweetheart. Just a sweet, good dude.
And changed the world.
Oh my God. Yes. So if you haven't seen Paris is Burning, it is, there are other films too, but it was a little bit like Ground Zero. Lots of challenges with it.
Have you seen The Queen?
The Queen, I think.
The one with Crystal LaBeija? With the infamous...
Yes. Peppa LaBeija.
No,
Crystal LaBeija.
But Peppa's in it too.
Yes.
Peppa's in it too, like making it, not a brief cameo, but like doesn't speak as much.
I haven't seen it.
Okay. I have a copy. I can send it to you.
Really?
The Queen, have you seen TV Transvestite?
I don't think so.
It's like the first documented ball. I think it was 1981 or 83. It's somewhere in that time. Yeah. Like before Paris is Burning, and Peppa LaBeija is like one of the commentators.
Oh my God.
And they have like some really infamous like New York people.
I gotta see it.
It's on YouTube. That one's on YouTube.
I will check it out.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
TV Transvestite.
I'm just learning all kinds of stuff tonight. TV Transvestite. What's up, Billy? So anyway, ballroom culture. I thought I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I do think that when I think about the scene in Chicago, you never belonged to a house.
I did.
Okay, what house?
I was in the House of Escada, but I joined the house in Atlanta when I was in college.
Okay.
So they were a house founded at Morehouse College, where I attended undergrad, and started by Father Tony Moultrie, Escada, and a few other people who started in the 90s. They threw the first ball in Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah, the first major ball in Atlanta. And it was, they were assisted. They give a lot of credit to Tony Milan, who was also a face that you see in Paris is Burning. So Tony Milan went went to Morehouse.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. And
Okay.
yeah.
And
then there was already a house of Escada in Chicago,
Okay.
Detroit, but they weren't connected.
Right.
And then our former mother from Detroit came down to Atlanta and like joined the houses together.
Nice.
Yeah, so I got to walk a few times in Chicago
Okay.
too. I never walked in New York though, so
No?
I don't consider myself like I wasn't a heavy hitter.
No.
I walked for a couple years. I didn't enjoy the politics of ballroom.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But I enjoyed voguing.
Well, it looks like a lot of fun.
It's so much fun.
I love going to the balls. I've been to a bunch of mini balls, but it's been a while since I've seen a all night kind of situation.
It was fun. It was a fun culture, but the fights would just be like, it would just ruin everything. Like you spend your $30. I don't want to be in that.
No.
Y'all too cute for this.
No.
But it brings out the best and the worst of people.
Well,
it's
a
competitive. Yeah.
That's what happens in competitions. I think we have. So I belong to a group called the Chicago Black Gay Men's Caucus.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard of us?
I have.
So I'm on the board, and we do mini balls as part of our annual fundraiser, and we're going to be doing a big one at the end of the year.
Okay.
I'm making a pre-announcement because I'm claiming that it's going to happen.
Okay.
I'll tell you all about it.
Please, if I'm around, I would love to come.
Yes, I would love to have you there. It's going to be sort of like in December. But
I haven't been to a ball in Chicago in over a decade.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I would love to come.
Well, we do the mini ball every year as part of our annual Love Fest. We have an event called Love Fest. So, I'll keep you posted on that. And everyone is welcome.
Awesome.
All right, so let's get to Morehouse. You were in Atlanta. You were shifting into fashion then?
I started Morehouse with the intention of doing this 2-year program, 3 years at Morehouse, 2 years at Georgia Tech.
Okay.
I intended to design roller coasters.
Okay, I was going to ask.
I did not I was going to be a mechanical engineer.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't care for physics enough to want to commit my life to such a thing. So
oh, my goodness.
I moved over to business management at Morehouse and drama with a concentration in dance at Spelman.
Okay.
And so my degree is really from Spelman.
Okay.
Which is a weird kind of loophole that you can do in the AUC.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spelman students, I don't think they can acquire a degree outside of, or they can't study a major outside of Spelman at the time. This was 20-something years ago.
Wow.
But because Morehouse didn't offer what I wanted in terms of studying drama, I really was studying dance and performance.
Yeah.
And drama was a part of that, and I wasn't trying to act like that was. I went to Brian Tyree Henry was a contemporary in school at the time.
Okay.
So that's the level of acting that was available at the school. And I was like, I am not.
You're not doing that.
He's Forrest Whitaker in the making. That's not me. But yeah, it was a great experience. I met most of my, lifelong friends at Morehouse.
You're still friends with those folks. That's great.
For sure.
How's the queer community there?
In the early 2000s, it was challenging.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of pronounced space for us in the ways that we have now. The language around queerness was different.
Yeah.
There was some controversy happening at the school. Someone was beat with a baseball bat in the showers, and that was in my dorm.
That's scary.
The person who lived next to me actually occurred to them. So I was woken up in the morning by the RA, are you okay? What do you mean? Someone I knew had, the next door neighbor had gotten hit with a bat because someone presumed to be looking at him.
Yeah.
Because it was assumed to be queer, and
I
guess he wasn't. I don't know the scenario, the details, but I know
Yeah.
that was the environment. So it wasn't always comfortable, but I had the beautiful women of Spelman to hold me up, right?
That's great.
In that space. So that really helped me a lot. I didn't really feel homophobia growing up in the ways that you would assume, and they would maybe. I always felt loved and supported.
That's
Even if people were whispering behind my back, it was never an issue. I was always invited. At Morehouse, there was different things to contend with. And it's a wonderful institution and has such a lauded history, and all those things are true.
Right.
But I think there was a lot of work at that time to be done around inclusion of other kinds
I'm guessing it's better now.
I'm assuming. I'm hoping.
I hope so.
And there was a wave of students that came up after us that were really vocal in ways that we were just starting to become, and took the torch and large like national statements about, we're here, we're present, and you
That's
have to
great.
deal with us. Like,
Yeah,
and that was really cool to see.
that is
That was
awesome.
really cool to see. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you talk about and our time goes so quickly. So
Yeah, I don't even know what time it is.
I'm sort of I need 2 hours for this show. Don't you guys agree? I know it's been a long time, Rasta. Um, I do want to get to what's happening now, but
Okay.
before I do that, I just want to hear a little bit more about your fashion journey because it seems
Oh,
like
that
that's
was
really important to you.
that was fun. It was
Mhm.
something I think I was just studying culture,
Mm-hmm.
um, art. I applied for journalism masters at
Mhm.
Central St. Martin's in London. I wrote a historical piece
On.
from an application on like the Hottentot Venus,
Oh yeah, of course.
Sarah Botman,
Yeah.
and juxtapose the story against contemporary obsession with the contemporary obsession at the time with larger posteriors,
Yes.
how it had affected fashion, how the bustle in the Victorian era was inspired by her body,
Wow.
how Beyonce and J Lo were at the front of this conversation,
Yeah.
and how it impacted fashion.
Okay.
It wasn't quite journalism, right? It was more anthropological.
Okay.
So they were like,
journalism.
maybe this is not the best fit. Have you considered this degree over here? So they
Okay.
recommended fashion curation, and that's how I ended up at London College of Fashion,
Okay.
and which was a better fit because
Yeah.
I didn't really want to write about handbags and stuff
Uh-huh.
like that. I wanted to write about
Yeah.
culture and fashion and aesthetics as a way of identifying ourselves and locating ourselves within the world.
Mm-hmm.
That was more of my interest, and so that was incredible. Getting to live in London for a year and do my master's, and went back to New York City, thinking, I was like, I'm going to start my career in New York.
Yeah. So what were you gonna do?
I was
What was in your mind?
I was going to be a fashion curator and like do the Met Gala kind of thing, right?
Okay. All right.
And as I went along with that process, I realized I didn't want to do that either.
Yeah.
So I was in New York. I was freelancing. I started off as an adjunct professor teaching like fashion show production and visual merchandising, things that weren't as important to me. And I was like, maybe I'll go back and get a research degree, and that's when I stumbled upon Hercules and Love Affair, and learned about them pretty quickly, and was really into the sound.
Yeah.
I really loved what Andy Butler and the crew were doing, and got to go to a performance like a year after being in New York, like to the date actually, and I was so impressed with them. And someone told me about the after party that was sitting in front of me the whole concert, and I rocked into the after party with my friend. We snuck in because it was like at a private venue, and a store called Opening Ceremony, which I had applied to earlier that year. I did not get the job, but I got the job of being in Hercules and Love Affair later on.
That's how it works.
Yeah, and just rocked up, spoke to Andy, and was like, thank you for the show. And he was like, oh, I saw you in the audience. I dedicated the show to you.
Get out.
I had a bang at the time, like my locks were cutting like a Rick James style. He was like, yeah, I saw you. He was like, yeah. He was like, you reminded me of Sylvester. And I was like, well, I can sing like Sylvester. And he was like, really? And I was like, no, more like Jeffrey Osborne. he was like, oh, okay.
That's
and
pretty good.
Yeah, we just kind of started the conversation there. And
that is so cool.
I joined the band eventually.
Yeah. I noticed. And you started your sort of production career, or more like formalized.
It formalized because I've been like writing songs for years and like tinkering at production, and I already was practicing DJing and doing that thing for a long time, but I wasn't doing it professionally. So I was always like toying with music, but I never moved it past hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that
sometimes it takes the right connections.
Yeah, and I was like, this is why I came to New York that night.
You.
That night I was like, oh, this is why I came to New York.
It really does help. New York is a wonderful place, and I always say to artists, I don't know, different kinds of artists, like this is one of the best experiences I had, and I was only there for a couple of years, but it stuck to me.
Yeah.
Like the people that I met, I had I met some incredible people just by being out in the world.
Absolutely.
Just being among artists, among DJs, and Frankie was there when I was there, so I got to hang out a lot with him. In the studio and while he was spinning, and so that was a part of my experience. So yeah, I always tell people, spend some time there. Especially if you're a young artist, like just do like a stint there.
If you have the privilege to spend time anywhere
Yeah.
outside of where you come from,
Come on now.
do so. Like,
That's what's up.
and don't be afraid. It will. That place will be back when you get there.
Yeah.
When you get back to it, like
Chicago was here.
you won't be the same, and that's for good, right? It expands you.
It opens you up.
Yeah.
It does. It does. It does. Okay, so you did come back to Chicago.
I did. I came back around 2012.
Yeah.
Once I was finished touring with Hercules, and that's
Mhm.
when I met Alunka,
Mm-hmm.
and we started working together pretty instantly. I went to the first night of Queen.
Yeah.
And she had a long history of playing with Justin Long at Smart Bar, so she was a semi resident there too.
That's great.
For his party, and her and I connected, and we just kind of fell in love musically, and then our friendship developed, and we eventually started this party called Twirl.
Yeah.
That was a monthly at Berlin.
Yeah.
The former Berlin.
The former Berlin.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah, it was a cool spot, and we did that about a year and a half, and realized that our schedules wouldn't permit, because she was starting to think about moving to Europe, and I was traveling quite a bit at the time too, back and forth between Europe and Australia and the States, and yeah, we started a label because we put some demos out, and they got taken, like the classic stuff that Honey eventually like sampled, but it was people weren't really maybe understanding or interested in what we were making, so we're like, we'll put it out ourselves, and we started Twirl, based from the same name of the party, and yeah, we've been doing that for goodness.
And you're still working
12 years now? Yeah.
Yeah,
she lives in Berlin. She's been there over a decade now. Okay. But we kept the label going. It's, we're sparse on our releases, but it's what we want to hear.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's no reason to do it any other way.
Yeah.
The way you want to do it.
Doing how you want to do it.
You know?
And it's music that we don't have to. I like the control that we don't have to like get some approval externally, or someone tells us like, that's cool, but this could be like this, or more like that. It's like, no.
Do how you want to
do it how you want to do it.
I love that. I love that a lot. So I do want to get into, you travel a lot. I want to hear a little bit more about sort of what's that bug. Is that connected to your DJing or production? So you just mentioned Australia and Europe.
It's usually for work.
Yeah.
It's usually for work, and like, if I go to I don't go to Europe as much as I used to, but when I was going quite frequently, I would just stay for months at a time. Yeah. Split my time. Like, I lived in Detroit almost 3 years, and I spent half of that in Berlin. Yeah. Because it was easy to tour from there, and just piecing things together. That phase where you're like, I'm not quite on everyone's radar yet, so I have to be present.
You physically have to show up.
You have to show up to the clubs and network and speak with people, and
it makes a difference. And
it does.
It is something that as I get older, I don't do as much because I got kids, and it's like it's harder to sort of be present. But when I think about when I did get so much work and had residencies all over the place, because I was out.
They see you.
I'd be at their parties, and so especially for, hey, what's up, Louis? Louis says, hey.
Hey, what's up?
It's important, to be out, and that does get harder when you get older. You just don't have the energy or interest sometimes in sort of doing that because there's other things to do. But if this is your career or this is a path that you want to go through as an artist, it's important to support everybody's stuff. Even if that's just showing up. Yeah. Just showing your face and just being there is important.
And you never know what kind of inspiration you're going to get on the dance floor. Like, I still like to go out after all these years. Nice. Like, I still like to go just dance. I wish. I'm middle-aged now, so.
Yeah, well. Yeah. I'm middle-aged.
Exactly. I'll take it.
So, let's talk about the Smart Bar. I think that, can you describe the Smart Bar for people who have never been there? And I'm guessing there might be people watching now who have never been there, or people who don't live in Chicago, because it's a bit of an institution. Yeah. It's been here since 1982. Yep. I love Joe Shanahan. I love the whole crew there. I am fortunate to probably get in there once or twice a year to do a set or two, and I love that when I have those opportunities. And it's a late party, which that's I don't do late parties, but I do smart
I
bar.
like that. I like the party. I wish we had longer parties here.
Oh my God, yeah, there was a time where I was doing
Yeah.
that 9 to 5 at night. But describe it for people who've never been.
I think Smart Bar is, like you said, an institution. It's a pinnacle. It's for the part of the city that it's in. I think it's very emblematic of the taste of contemporary Chicago.
Yeah.
I think it offers both tried and true formulas of like house music, but also is willing to push the envelope quite a bit. And I like that because personally, I'm not beholden to only the classics. They're inspiring, but I think like sometimes parts of the city can feel static or not interested in embracing the new. And Smart Bar, I think, does a great job of balancing both the older, the more seasoned with the new and experimental. And it's really special because it's not a big room, but it has a big room feel and a small room attitude.
I love that. That's exactly right.
So you don't feel like there's no like door where you have to impress the door person. There's no pretentious, staff or bartenders. You're welcome there. If you come with good energy, they give it back to you. And the dance floor is always very vibrant and inviting. You can make a friend and packed, and you can make a friend there. Like sometimes you can go out and people can ice you out because they don't know you.
Right.
A Smart Bar is not like that. Like someone's going to strike up a conversation with you. Someone's going to be willing to dance with you. Like it's always just generous. And maybe that's my experience as a person who has worked there for quite some time. But even before, when I was just going to visit, I always left there with,
I felt that way too. I mean, and I've been going there since it opened. And when I was much
not on me. Relax.
No, I have been since it opened.
That's so cool.
Joe Smooth and when he was spinning there, and I remember when Frankie was spinning there. I mean, I remember those days because I could tell you what it looked like. Like when you went down the room, it didn't have the stage there. It was like on the other side of the wall where the seats are. I remember all of that, and we would just hang out, and it's always been that way. It's always been cool.
Yeah. That's cool.
And the staff is great. And they do. If you give them good energy, they give it right back to you. As a guest DJ, when I show up, I always get love.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you never quite know what the vibe is, but whatever it is, people go for it.
It's my favorite room in the city. It has been for quite some time.
Yeah.
For those reasons, before I was even anywhere close to being a resident, it just was some place that I knew I could hear something fresh too.
Yes, absolutely.
I love. I won't say anything further than that. Yeah, I love being challenged sonically.
Me too.
And I like to also bring that energy, like with staying within the tradition. I think the tradition of house music is to be challenging.
Yeah.
Is to be innovative. Is to be fresh. Is to
absolutely
spark curiosity or make people hear music in a way that not make them, but suggest music in a way that they may not have heard it before, and open their mind. And like sometimes it feels like too regimented to me.
Yeah, I wonder if that's because people are always trying to capture the spirit of house music based on what happened decades ago, and it's like that's not that decades ago. It was new music.
It's fresh. I think maybe it's because I was a kid coming up and hearing it in that way. That is what informed me more than like nostalgia.
Yeah.
It was all like, it's exciting. I remember the first time I got a Masters at Work, or Danny Tenaglia, was getting new things, or like Gigolo records, like everything that I hear that's new is like, it can go in this direction too. It can go in that direction. I want to put it all together. Like because that's what you were hearing on like GCI. You were hearing like Etta James sampled over like some disco and like whoa.
Yeah.
What is this?
I think that any crowd. I think there is any crowd, and I like spinning for everybody. I don't care where I spin. I want to ask you about that. Like, I don't care if I'm opening, closing, middle. I don't care. I really don't care. I've had a long career, and many times to live in like the spotlight, and I'm at the place where it's like, oh, I'll open it. That's fine. I'll set the tone for the whole night, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Or I'll close, or I'll be, whatever you want me to do. Like, I'm like, what do you want? How you want to use me? But I will say that what I think is important is to be creative in any of those spaces. Is to bring something new, or to do something that's traditional, but it's twisted in a way. In a way that you wouldn't expect. Where people go, oh, okay.
You gotta turn it.
Like, what?
You gotta turn it.
I mean, isn't that why you go out?
Yes, that's why I go out.
That's why I go out.
That's why I go out. I find that kind of approach very exciting.
Yes, Louis said opening is cool. I agree with you, Louis. All right, so we only have like 10 more minutes. So
this went so fast.
I know, it's terrible, but so that means we always have to do it again.
Okay.
But I want to ask you some questions about being a DJ at Smart Bar, and you DJ in many places. You just flew in from New York. I know that you've done sets, lots of different radius, lots of places that you spend. So whether it's Smart Bar or somewhere else, talk about how you prepare for a night. I want an audience to hear a DJ's mind at work.
It's so many variables, particularly like if I intend to sing.
Yes.
If I intend to do any kind of live performance within the set, that's often impromptu, but like there are longer sets, especially like someplace like a panorama bar or a bigger show where they've asked me to do something like that. Then I want to work my way to that song. I don't want to start there usually. Sometimes I will. And it's usually my own production. I've done a couple covers, but I tend to stick with my own stuff. Yeah. Because I want to contribute to the canon.
How often do you sing in your sets?
Not as much as I used to. Maybe like half a dozen times a year. Maybe 10 at most.
Oh, really?
A year. Okay. Yeah, because it's like I'm so in the DJing flex of it now, and I don't want to compartmentalize it. I think you can do all that. I love when Robert Owens does it or Virginia does it. Like I love when it happens, but like I want to do all my tricks and stuff too with the turntable. So it just has to be inspired.
Yeah.
But saying that, I like to know my starting point. Typically, if it's a bigger show, sometimes I just like rock up because I have so much music on my sticks. I'm not usually carrying vinyl, so I don't feel limited. But when I do play with vinyl, I might be a little bit more measured in what I'm going to start with, so I can get the vibe going. But you get to the room, and if you're not opening in the middle of the close, that might change.
That's true.
I want to respond to the room.
I can't tell you how many times I put together a set and
only to dismiss. Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, I don't typically make folders for like if it's a big thing like an arc or movement or something like that. I'll make some. I want some guaranteed bangers, right?
Absolutely.
And then I'll play within that. But typically, I don't like to program my sets because it's like a good sermon. It has to come from the spirit.
Yeah, I'm not going to program it, but I know if I have an hour, I probably need 100 songs.
What's an hour gonna do? That's the question now. If I'm preparing for an hour, you just gonna get what you get.
Well,
this is like that's not enough time. Which is my opinion.
I like the challenge.
Okay.
Because I was one of those DJs that played all night.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? 9 to 5 in some clubs, 12 to 4. And so when I do those drop-ins and stuff, it's like, okay, how can I make this work? I mean, I had to do an hour back-to-back with Alan King at a party recently. I mean, like 1 hour back-to-back.
So you both got like 30 minutes roughly. Yeah.
And we did one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so fun. Yeah. I mean, it was a little bit like speed dating. It's like
I just feel like you like for I do it. Of course I do.
Okay.
But I feel like when you have an hour, like even an hour and a half makes a difference.
I completely agree.
When you have an hour, especially at festivals, there's this need to like be up here, and like I like a journey. I want the story. Like give me some nuance. Take me up. Bring me down.
Yeah.
Build me back up.
Yeah.
You know, like
I do. And it's hard to do that in an hour.
It's hard to do that in an hour.
Especially depending on your placement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anyway, we're getting too deep into it.
But yeah, that's.
You know
I like to think about the space. I like to think about who I'm playing for, and my why, my emotions, how I'm feeling, and try to merge that with the crowd.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is that the crowd is leaving with a sense of truth in the music. I don't ever want to play down to the crowd.
I agree.
Like treat them like they won't get it or don't do this. Like I'll take a risk and maybe it'll work, maybe it won't.
Yeah, I think that's brave. I know that I don't always feel brave, but I appreciate it when I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, whatever. It might clear a dance floor, but I think it's important.
It's important.
And I'll get them back, But let's talk about tracks because you have produced quite a lot. I love your music. I got a chance to sort of get reacquainted with some stuff that I've heard before and some new things. So thanks for continuing to put it out there. What are you liking right now? Like if you were to say like these are the bangers for the summer, it's a lot. Ooh. But there's got to be like I have a couple in my head, but I'm curious about like.
Oh, that's a tough one.
If you you just played, so what you gonna play like every time you play this summer?
Every single time. This
song gotta be at
um,
least one.
By this retrograde called Moldo.
Mm-hmm.
It was a limited release, but it's on digital now. I've been playing that for the last year, and it's from like maybe the late odds, or like 2010, maybe 2011.
So it's an old song that's your reason.
Yeah, and I loved it then.
It?
No. I loved it back then. I played it, but I just been having so much fun playing it again.
How fun is that?
And it's like 10 minutes, and it goes on a journey, and it breaks down like completely down into like bleeps.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Bleeps, and like the crowd is like, and then it builds back up in such a strong way, and the crowd like always loses it.
Yeah.
So that's my song of the past year.
Yeah. What about anything new? That's catching your attention?
I'm loving everything that John Dixon is putting out from Detroit.
Okay.
I'm loving a lot of what the Detroit artists are putting out right now. Okay. And I tend to play a little bit harder, but I love what Mark Russane has been putting out.
Okay.
His tracks are awesome.
Really? And
they work a dance floor.
You know what's been making, I think it's in my feed now, but like the Ultranate new track that she's got moving to the sun or something like that.
I haven't heard this. I gotta check it out.
I think it's just in my feed because like every time I'm on Instagram, it's popping up on somebody's thing, but it's pretty cool.
Okay.
And I thought about her because she plays and sings too. Not all the time.
She's fab. She's very fab. Beautiful.
But I went down a little Ultranate hole after I was like, oh, this track is banging. And I called my friend. I was like, what was that one? She's like, Twisted. Yeah, we used to listen to that. Talk about driving down Lakeshore Drive. Do you know that track?
So this is also like a question that's stumping me because I've been spending a lot of time on Discogs and I'm digging a lot and like trying to rip a lot. It's all this older stuff is actually in my head now. So particularly from like 88 to like 97.
Okay, yeah.
That's been like crazy sound. Like stuff from like T1000, like back in the day. Like just all like it's funky. That's techno.
A good era.
Yeah. It's a good era.
And you can find a lot of that on wax still, which is nice.
So the newer stuff is kind of it's stumping me out. Of course, Alinka, whatever she's putting out, I'm playing.
That's great.
I'm working on new material.
Good.
I have my friend Shake With Me, and he just put out something recently that's really good. So I'm loving his music.
Okay.
DJ Holography put out an album like earlier this year.
Yeah.
It sounded really good. Like, I have a lot of friends.
Are you buying wax?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And you play it at Smart Bar?
I do sometimes.
Okay.
I do. I don't like to travel with it. I prefer to travel with shoes.
Yeah.
I know that's like I'd rather have shoe options, but
Yeah, no, if I haven't gone out of town, I don't think I'm going to be taking that.
Yeah, it's cumbersome.
I mean, once a month is plenty for me, just dragging it over to the slow-mo parts. So I want to, I know we're about to run out of time, but before we do that, I want to talk about a couple things. You're going to be doing some stuff. You're doing so much now, so maybe we can talk about what you're doing now. You do have a residency, so where can people see you at Berlin? How can they see you? Are you there every Sunday?
At Smart Bar.
I mean, at Smart Bar. Berlin.
No, I'm a Smart Bar resident and also a Queen resident. So,
okay.
That I've a Smart Bar resident at the top of 2020, right before the pandemic, but I've been playing there for years.
Yeah.
They made me a resident top of 2020 and 2019, and I became a Queen resident about a little over 2 years ago.
What's the difference?
Well, I'm specifically a resident
just
for Queen.
Got it.
So, but I played as a Smart Bar resident, but now I'm like, I'm not just a guest resident, a guest artist at Queen anymore. Now,
now you're official.
Yeah, like with Derek and Garrett, David and Michael Serafini.
Right. Okay.
So I'm a part of that crew. So I get to play there at least once or twice a month.
That's great.
Because of my schedule, which is fantastic to be
nice.
on a. I mean, I'm such an admirer of both of those men.
Oh.
And Garrett as
best.
well.
Yeah.
And what he's been able to build, but I mean, Derek Carter was my hero.
Yeah.
Like one of my heroes. So like just being next to him on the decks is always really cool.
Well,
but you can see me thank you. You can see me at Smart Bar at least 2 or 3 times a month.
That's great.
Various nights.
Okay. Yeah. And are you doing any other residencies now?
I'm not doing any residencies now, but I play in New York so much.
You do. And where are you playing in New York?
Everywhere. I'm playing at Nowadays Studio and Basement. Okay. I play everywhere, yeah, like once a month. So like
your biggest fan wanted to follow you around, they'd be busy.
Hopefully they'll get busier. Yeah, it's more to come.
They want more work.
More work. Let's do it.
Amen. All right, you're playing at the House Music Festival on August 23rd.
No, not this year. I played last year.
Did I see that? That was last year. Whoops, last year. Okay. You're not playing this year.
I'm not playing this year. I'm gonna hopefully be able to attend at least one day of it though.
Yeah, I'm doing a panel discussion, but they just put out the
which day?
I think it's that Thursday.
I'll be there.
Yes, I'll be doing a panel discussion somewhere in the cultural center.
Okay. Yeah, those are always great.
Yeah, there were a lot of good ones last year. Did you see Patrice Rushen?
Yes, with Steve So Curly.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? That was
the best part.
That was mind blowing.
Yeah.
I'm such a fan of both of them.
Yeah.
So to hear them in conversation was
graduated from high school together.
You did?
Yeah, we were in the same class.
He's awesome.
He's such a good dude.
He's always been very kind. Always been very kind.
Great dude. Yeah. Yes, we had wood shop together.
Nice.
He's a good dude. All right, I'm gonna do some rapid fire.
Okay.
And that's how we're gonna end. Dogs or cats?
Cats.
Cats.
I love cats.
Hot dogs or hamburgers?
Hamburgers.
Veggie or regular? Veggie dogs or regular? Veggie hamburgers or regular?
Kobe beef, yeah, regular.
All right, spring or summer?
Spring.
This is the hardest one. Barack or Michelle?
Michelle.
Ooh, shade of it. Louis Green, you're playing. Congratulations, Louis. We're going to be there to support you.
You're playing?
Yes.
Oh.
I was playing. So we'll be there Friday, August.
I think I have that weekend off, so that'll be nice.
2 p.m. All right, Louis.
Okay.
There's some backstage passes now.
Yes, please.
Okay, sweetie. All right, well, listen. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a hug on air. Appreciate you.
It's an absolute honor to speak with you and to even be on your radar.
It's completely my honor. I tell you, I was getting excited. I was talking to my wife. I was like, "Oh, Shaun has done a lot." You know, I was so impressed. And I was like, "I know you had done a lot, but like when you start digging, I'm like, and first of all, I didn't even know you did that. They did that. So anyway, all right. I love you guys. We will see you next week for more Vintage House. I don't know who's going to be here, but I'm sure it will be great. So
here we go. Thanks for listening to the Vintage House Show podcast. Please subscribe and share, and check us out live, WNUR 89.3 FM, Wednesdays at 10 o'clock.